There's more to imagine when you listen. So let your imagination soar with Audible. Audible has audio titles from every genre that will inspire you to imagine new worlds, possibilities, and ways of thinking. As an Audible member, you get to choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog. Enjoy an exciting reawakening of a beloved classic with the Audible original, David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. Produced by Academy Award-winning director Sam Mendes. Starring Ncuti Gatwa, Helena Bonham Carter, and Theo James. This adaptation breathes new life into a familiar tale. New members can try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500. That's audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500.
Worried about letting someone else pick out the perfect avocado for your perfect impress them on the third date guacamole? Well, good thing Instacart shoppers are as picky as you are. They find ripe avocados like it's their guac on the line. They are milk expiration date detectives. They bag eggs like the 12 precious pieces of cargo they are. So let Instacart shoppers overthink your groceries so that you can overthink what you'll wear on that third date. Download the Instacart app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders, while supplies last. Minimum $10 per order. Additional terms apply.
Imagine the softest sheets you've ever felt. Now imagine them getting even softer over time. That's what you'll feel with Bowe & Branch's best-selling signature sheets in 100% organic cotton. In a recent customer survey, 96% replied that Bowe & Branch sheets get softer with every wash. Start getting your best night's sleep in sheets that get softer and softer for years to come. Try their sheets with a 30-night guarantee. Plus, get 15% off with your first order at bowlandbranch.com. Code WONDERY15. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Welcome to How to Survive with Danielle and Christine, the show that teaches you how to survive the stuff that can kill you.
Like being stabbed by an icicle, or tetanus, or seasonal depression.
And the things that just make you wish you were dead.
Like getting your favorite show spoiled, or scary roller coasters, or fishing on a full belly.
Man, I don't want to do most of those, or one of those, or all of those. I don't know. I already forgot what they were.
But you know what we do want to do?
Play the theme song.
That's right.
Ground is shaking under our feet. Mountains on fire, flooding in the street. Can't breathe the air, can't fight the feeling. Gobbling down Xanax ain't the way to be dealing. Gotta do better than just getting high. We gotta stick together if we're gonna survive. How to survive. How to survive.
Welcome to How to Survive with Danielle and Christine. I am Danielle.
Hi, I'm Christine.
Christine, you're wearing a very pretty blouse, but one that seems for spring weather.
I thought today was spring weather.
Yeah,
it
no,
was
it's cold.
It was at my house. Sun
was?
is hot and bright.
Hot and bright?
I had to close the blinds. You know, I have these mechanical blinds that you push the button, they go.
Do you really?
Yeah, because
like a fortress?
Yeah, I can turn my house into a
James Bond.
James Bond fortress, so
yeah.
that the machine guns. So
guns?
that when when the end of times comes, sorry, I have to stretch. What? You know when a good stretch overcomes you and you have to go with it. When the machine guns come at end of times.
Oh, yeah.
All I can do is keep my windows from being shattered.
Right.
The bullets will rip through these shades, but they're operated by a button.
How fun.
And they're like metal shades that come down.
Did you put those in or were they already in your house?
They arrived with the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Because otherwise our house would be 8 million degrees.
Right.
Because it's one, I don't want to brag.
Yeah.
But one side of my house is all windows.
Okay.
You've seen that
Yes,
part.
of course.
And so you've got to protect yourself.
Yeah, that was the side from which we were being narked on by your kid.
Yes. When they all came to the windows,
Yeah.
pressed their faces
So
to the windows
sad.
in their hands and saw us smoking on the deck.
Yeah. Speaking of our children
Yeah.
and the things they get themselves into,
Yes.
it appears as though, despite my yelling, "No more babies," at the cats,
Oh, no.
it appears as though Benjamin may be pregnant.
Oh, we knew Benjamin would be pregnant first.
Yes.
Because the traps didn't work.
Well, Jimmy tried the trap, I think, once. And also there was really no place to take them. Before everyone, comes at me, I already feel super guilty that the cat's pregnant. So
You
save
didn't
your.
do it.
Well, I didn't fix. I didn't get
Did
the.
you impregnate
I
the cat?
impregnated the cat. She was just too tempting. I didn't get them fixed, and I meant to, but my mom was dying, and we're not good at these things. And
Likely
there was
story.
nowhere to bring them. It seemed that I don't know all the places.
You are correct. We had much difficulty getting Mama Chloe fixed.
right.
It was so hard. I mean, we had to pay for it full price, and
Right.
it was expensive. And
And there's 6 cats in our backyard.
and I made 800 calls. So
Right.
and my mom wasn't dying. So I think you get a
Right.
pass.
Now, at least for the time being, mifepristone is still legal. So I'm thinking maybe I just slip her some abortion pills. I don't know if it's too late legally.
Is
If
she
I can-
visibly pregnant?
Well, that's how. I mean, she wasn't complaining of morning sickness. I mean, that's why we think she's pregnant is because
You can see it.
well, her sides got real big.
Okay.
like she's kind of puffing out at the sides.
If she's already visibly pregnant, then she's about to deliver.
I know.
You know what? Guess what we're gonna do?
We made a bed for her.
We're gonna have an adoption drive on the
Okay.
show. Our $10 Patreons
Okay,
get
if
a
you want
free
a cat,
kitten.
if you want a cat and deal with it, you're more than welcome to. I will give you my home address. I don't
Please
care.
reach out to our email podcast@howtosurvive
If
at
she has-
Gmail.
yeah.
and
If
you can
she-
pick out a kitten.
Right. If she does indeed give birth to kittens, I think Alex might be the father, which will be interesting because she is a muddled sort of, brown, blackish, and Alex is orange with short ears,
Okay.
weird short ears.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be pretty cute, I bet.
Okay.
I got so mad at myself yesterday because I realized, oh shit, we should have gone to Disneyland during the teacher strike. Because I've been wanting to go. I don't know if Oliver would even be interested in it anymore, but we haven't ever done the Star Wars Galaxy, and we haven't done
I like
the
that.
Avengers thing in California Adventure. And I was like, oh, you ding dong, that was the one chance you had.
You might have another chance.
Well, I'm just saying a weekday where it's not going to be crazy busy. That's why I'm saying.
He's gonna have day off school, right?
Yeah, but then everyone will have a day off school. I mean, yes, everyone had a day off of LAUSD, but the parents wouldn't have. Anyway, maybe, I guess. I just thought, oh, that would have been good because not everyone would be there. Anyway.
Well, when we went, it was so crowded.
Disneyland? Yeah.
No, when we just went to Six Flags.
Oh, it was?
yeah.
Oh, because you went on Easter weekend.
We went on Good Friday. Oh. It was bonkers.
That is bonkers.
But, what do? You just wait in
Yeah.
line. And we looked into getting those extra passes, those fast passes.
Uh-huh.
Guys, do you know how much they are?
I didn't even know they had them at Six Flags.
I think they have them. They're just.
I know they have them at
What they're
Disneyland.
trying to do in this world that we live in is just make it so that the haves
Yes.
are always rubbing it in the faces of the have-nots.
100%.
$275 a piece. That does not include your ticket price. P.S.
Are you kidding me?
I am not. I am
fucking
not.
Six Flags?
And guess what happens? Here's how it works. So everyone who's already waiting in line, you're just waiting in line longer and longer and
Yeah.
longer. It makes your wait
Right.
longer. And then when you finally get up, so it's your turn, so you're about to step onto the roller coaster, the fast pass person comes from the other side.
Right.
So you're just about to step
Right.
in, and then they come in and just sit down. And it's also awful for that. The little girl looked up and goes, "I'm sorry." Oh, because they don't.
They know it's privileged and weird.
It's gross, and
It's so gross.
It's just this way. They just shouldn't offer it. They just shouldn't offer it as an option
The
for
way-
anyone.
Right. The way they had it at Disneyland before, I mean, maybe it wasn't working, but the way they had it before at Disneyland where the fast passes, it wasn't money. It was just you went to the machine, got the fast pass ticket, and then you had an allotted time. Like between 2 and 4, you can go here and you're in the fast pass. So it was not a money thing. It was just if you thought to do it and you got there, you had to wait, but just not as long. I thought that was great. It's fucking preposterous. It's so gross. I just bought Broadway tickets. They weren't that much money.
Good.
Yeah, $275.
A piece.
No, I'm saying you're saying it's $275. No, my Broadway tickets were not that. They were way less than that. I'm just saying that seems like an absurd amount of money.
How can anybody afford that?
People can because
I don't
I think the
know.
people that kept getting. I was like, oh, they're all you. I mean, the kids had on Gucci. People are so rich that's not
It's
a big
nothing to
deal.
them.
It's not a big deal.
I can't imagine. Anyway. Oh, speaking of awful rich people,
Yes?
I'm sure you've watched Succession.
Oh, Schmeigel, I did.
Karen, are we ruining something for you?
No,
You saw it too?
I just
caught
said,
up?
you know what? I've only got 2 episodes. I'm going to go watch them both. And thank God I did.
Okay. Well,
Wow.
here's an interesting, I'm having an internal battle about spoilers because
Okay.
when I got on Twitter on Sunday, I saw people it was Sunday. I don't understand how it was already Sunday. I guess because it was East Coast or something. I don't know. Anyway, I saw references to something big has happened. It didn't say what it was at all. And I didn't guess. And I didn't try to guess. Good. And I was like, okay, I said, Jimmy, we have to stay up late tonight because we have to watch this because people are going to talk about it. So in a sense, the mini spoiler helped me avoid major spoilers because I wouldn't have thought it was any special episode that I had to watch then. But I don't understand. But, everyone ruins it. But anyway, now I'm assuming everyone's seen it who's going to see it. And holy shit. Spoiler in case you haven't watched it by now, but I'm sure you have.
If you don't want us to tell you, then stop listening.
Put your fingers in your ears.
And fast forward a few seconds or minutes. I thought it was a really brilliant episode. I'm excited where the season's going to go now. I'm a little disappointed because
That he'll be gone?
The character's so amazing, but also it takes the series in such an unexpected way, and then you get to see so many people who define themselves like basing
on this guy,
themselves off of who they are. It's like their personalities are reactions to a person, that what happens to them when that entity is gone.
Yes. I think it was very smart to kill him off now because, as we were saying, or at least I thought, and I was talking to a friend who kind of agreed, it was kind of feeling a little repetitive. And it was like, oh, they lured me in by thinking it was going to be repetitive. And then they just fucking took the rug out from under me. It was awesome.
Do you guys watch the afterwards when they'll show the preview for next week, and then they show the breakdown of like the actors talking about the episode?
No.
It's so interesting because you also get to watch like Jesse Armstrong talk about the episode, and you get to watch the actors talk about the episode, which is always fun because you get to see Kendall like in his regular clothes. What he looks like when he's like, he was in, did you see it?
No.
What is his regular clothes?
Well, he's in like, in this episode, you don't always see him. You don't always see every actor, but like whoever they decide to use, you get to see him in like a muslin sort of low neck shirt with his hair, and like some kind of talisman around his neck, and his hair's grown in and very silver.
Oh.
So he's fully gray, I think. And his stubble coming in gray, and he's like, just his energy, even though I hate to use that word, is very much like he would refer to his energy.
Right.
It's fun. I'd say go back and watch it.
I don't like seeing what's going to happen on the next episode, but I'll skip that part.
Skip that part
and go to the...
And it's more about like this upcoming season, and it's kind of almost like Mad Men, where you feel like they just give you little clips of dialogue, but it's not necessarily spoiling anything.
Right.
And I loved what Jesse Armstrong was saying about how he was really worried about telling Logan, the actor, that, hey, we're gonna,
I was wondering,
you're so talented and we're gonna
kill you,
and the actor talking about how, he felt about it, and it's worth watching. I think it's really,
that's great.
It's really interesting. And when they're talking to Roman, I'm sorry, I'm not using any of the actors' names.
Culkin.
That is too many names. I can't even remember actors' names.
I know.
He's almost crying when he's
Really?
talking about how emotional it is to be in that space of that loss, that you have to be in that space and then go home and have a regular life. Like what the intensity of that. It's really fun to watch them talk about their experiences.
I'm going to watch that. 2 things I saw on Twitter right before we were watching. One is that apparently the writers kept the secret by writing, instead of writing Logan dies, they wrote Larry David on the board when they were beating out the story.
Oh my God.
So they just kept writing Larry David. It was Connor's wedding, Larry David. So that was funny.
Connor.
And then the other thing is, someone said, so I've just been starting to rewatch the show from the beginning, and does anybody remember that Roman was married and had a kid in the first episode?
No.
And I was like, what? Wait, vaguely. I think I kind of remember something about a kid. I just fucking forgot about it, I guess.
I had no
I gotta
concept.
go. I know. Isn't that weird?
I just think about how in the episode when Connor's like, he doesn't love me. Nobody even likes me.
Yeah.
And it's so heartbreaking.
But he had the best, wait, did I say Connor?
Yeah. Earlier you said Connor.
No,
You said
Roman had the, Roman had the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he had the best reaction. He was like, yeah, I'm going to fucking go on with my life because this guy
Fuck this guy.
doesn't even acknowledge me. He's not even going to come to my wedding. And
Yeah.
He doesn't need love. He doesn't need love. He can survive without it. Which
don't-
is why he's marrying that woman
Who doesn't love him?
who doesn't love him. It was pretty
Yeah.
clear about it.
Yeah. But they have, in some ways, the most functional relationship because they're both sort of aware of what it
Yeah.
is. And like, it doesn't seem like, it's like they're both very clear about it in an honest way, even though it's completely fucked up.
I was kind of surprised he said, actually asked her outright, but I was glad that she was like, it's part of it. Your money is part of it, security, but I'm happy. Except she's never looks happy, so that was ridiculous.
No.
She's not happy at all, but
I was surprised that it wasn't her that we lost.
oh, they're going to kill off.
I was waiting for her to be like, I don't want it. I can't. There's no escape.
She's just going to
There's
jump
no
off
escape.
the
I'm out.
boat.
So I was waiting for her.
One more thing I have to note is the emergence of the character of the assistant in the last couple episodes
Yeah.
has been really fun.
That was really
her
funny.
coming out of the room,
Just,
like,
just
like laughing. Oh my God, this is really fucked. Like just her energy.
I know, that was really funny.
You're in shock. Maybe not though.
Maybe not. Maybe she's just relieved, or I don't know what.
It's so hard to know.
People are like, is she going to get all the money? Is it like, but I don't think he would have put her in the will.
Who knows?
I don't think.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was pretty. Oh, anyway. All right. Well, I guess we should get to today's episode. Were you going to say something here?
Well, I'm looking at this blurb about Succession says, when it comes to Succession's Roman Roy, it really is bombshell after bombshell, and the show isn't even on right now. Yes, while we're still recovering from the realization that Roman is not, in fact, the Roy clan's youngest sibling.
What?
I don't even know what that refers to.
Wait, when is this from?
January. Roman had a wife and kid in the show's pilot.
Right.
I don't think they still exist. I think that may have just been written out. Or
It's so weird how we just forgot it.
They probably just made a creative choice to say, we're not going to have him have that. We did it in the pilot because, pilots, they're often a long time away from the series.
That's true.
From the actual
But
show.
they didn't edit it out or anything. Well, he's the youngest. Anyway, I don't want to know what that
Doesn't make any
means.
sense.
Okay. All right. Are you ready? Glasses are being exchanged to learn how to survive.
We need a musical cue for glasses exchanged.
We do. You know what to do. How to survive. Seasonal depression.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Well, we're actually going to find out what it's called. If short,
SADS.
Yes, you're right. If shorter days and shifts in weather zap your energy and make you feel blue, you've got classic symptoms of seasonal affective disorder or SAD. Catchy. A form of depression triggered by changes in daylight and weather that occur primarily in the fall and winter. I did, however, read one case of someone who, moving to a warm climate, would be depressed because they didn't have seasons at all. Like when you live here, like you've grown up in like the East Coast and you live here and
Okay.
there's no seasons, that was depressing for that person.
That
But
seems really rare. How could you come here and then get it? Except maybe...
I've heard people say they miss the seasons.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that, but as a person who like had it
Oh, it sounds awful, all that snow.
and then I don't think well, I'm not going to talk about myself. Let's talk about
Oh, okay. Why do some people get sad? Experts. Well, maybe because they forgot to.
pull themselves up
spayed or
by
neuter
their
their cat.
bootstraps.
Yes. Experts aren't certain, but some think that those seasonal changes disrupt the body's circadian rhythm, the 24-hour clock that regulates how we function during sleeping and waking hours, causing us to feel energized and alert sometimes and drowsy at other times. And maybe I have no circadian rhythm. Maybe I was born with two left circadians. Something.
Like two left testicles.
What?
You mean because
I
you're
meant feet? Because because of rhythm, but okay, sure. I have 2 left. They're on one side. So weird.
Because you're tired all the time?
Because I'm tired all the time.
I'm tired all the time. But I always just thought it was because I have depression.
Same.
But not seasonal.
No,
it's just
365
yes,
depression.
It's fully through the year.
Right. Post, during, and prenatal depression. Okay. Another theory is that the changing seasons disrupt hormones such as serotonin and melatonin, which regulate sleep, mood, and feelings of well-being. Whatever the cause of one's SAD may be, the signs and symptoms typically can include feelings of depression that happen most of the day, every day in a seasonal pattern, having tiredness or low energy, loss of interest in activities you used to enjoy, changes in appetite or weight gain, sleeping too much. How common is SAD? It just seems like a ridiculously simplistic acronym. I mean, it does describe it, but it just seems like, I have SAD. Like, no one's going to take you seriously.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
a case of the SAD.
Yes. I'm feeling the sad.
About 4 to 6% of people in the United States have SAD, according to the American Academy of Family Physicians.
Did you say 4 to 6 or 46?
4 to 6.
I think it's higher. I think it is 46.
Yeah. Well, and as many as 20% may have a mild form of it, often called the winter blues. That starts when days get shorter and colder. Women and young adults are most likely to experience that, of course. And
We get all of it.
I know. And, oh, wait, I just have to ask you. Are you watching Schmicago, the Schmigadoon new season?
You know what? I didn't watch Schmigadoon.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's not your thing.
I watched, you know what I started?
What?
Beef.
I've heard it's very good. I haven't started it yet.
Okay.
It's really good?
I think I like it a little.
Oh, okay.
Here's what the reviews are stellar. It's, you know what it is? It's one of those dramas that they also call a comedy. And I'm like, it has a comedian in it.
Is it Ali Wong?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm like, I don't think it's fun. It's serious and it's
Okay.
people that are really unhappy.
Oh,
So
great. I need another one of those.
no, I'm just like people who are really unhappy trying to hurt each other.
Okay.
So I don't find it funny,
Okay.
but
Well,
it's good. It's
yeah.
good. I just don't know if I really want to watch it right now.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'll put that on the back burner, so
Yeah.
to speak.
Put it on your sad list.
That beef. Yeah, I'm going to be sad about it.
Have you seen it, Garen?
I have not.
Okay.
It's calling to me.
People-
People how good it is.
People I know who have good taste are really liking it. It might just be that I don't want to watch unhappy people be mean to each other right now.
Right. And then there's that Catherine Hahn show that's supposed to be good.
Oh, that looks really good.
Little, it's not Little Fires
is it
Everywhere.
Dear Sugar? It's based on the Cheryl
No.
Strayed
No, it's Little Something Something.
Pretty Little Liars.
It's not Pretty Little Liars. It's also not Little...
Little Sugars.
Terrible Little Things or
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. They got to stop naming these shows. They all sound the same.
Titles are so weird now, right?
fucking
They've
wacko.
gotten very generic.
Little Fires, Little Pretty Fires, All the Liars Everywhere. Little Pretty Liars.
Did you just write a book? I think you just read a book.
I think I wrote the first 2 pages of a Dr. Seuss light book.
Tiny Beautiful Things.
Okay.
Tiny Beautiful Things? That's a fucking stupid name.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's dumb. But anyway, it's supposed to be very good.
It sounds like a jewelry
She's really-
company.
Tiny Beautiful.
Yeah.
Tiny,
Like you're like, did you get those earrings from Tiny Beautiful Things?
Yeah. It's right next to where Claire's. They okay. Young women and young adults are more likely to experience SAD, as are those who live farther away from the equator.
Mm-hmm.
People live with a family history or a diagnosis of depression or bipolar disorder may be particularly susceptible. Oh boy. Oh, I did. Okay. It is important to treat SAD because all forms of depression limit people's ability to live their lives to the fullest, to enjoy their families, and to function well at work. To help manage SAD, here are a few options you might want to consider. Talk with your doctor. Because SAD is a form of depression, it needs to be diagnosed by a mental health professional. There are a number of screening questions that can help determine if someone is depressed. Your doctor will be able to sort out whether you have SAD as opposed to some other form of depression. Not really sure why it matters.
I mean,
well, I guess because of the light therapy, which we're going to get to.
yes.
If you have SAD, seeing a professional can help you identify the condition and work through it. Ready your mind in the fall regularly. Ready your mind in the fall. Regularly allotting time for mood-boosting activities can help people feel physically and psychologically healthier, says psychologist Kim Burgess, a psychologist and an adjunct associate professor of psychiatry and behavioral sciences at the George Washington University School of Medicine and Health Sciences in Washington, D.C. brag much.
Right?
It's better to set yourself up for winter season by starting in the fall season. Not starting to be depressed, but starting...
No, it's going to happen.
What?
The sadness.
The sadness?
Yeah, like set yourself up. Like, I know it's coming.
Yeah, I know it's coming.
But I usually spend that time looking for the perfect sweater.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Well, that's good.
But maybe I shouldn't. Maybe
Well,
I should be spending time knowing the sadness is coming.
Like a squirrel hoarding nuts.
Garen?
You can hoard your sadness.
Store it up.
No, what they're saying is do enjoyable activities, initiating friend group chats and outings, choosing fun hobbies, and engaging in clubs or community services.
But I don't want to do any of that because I'm sad.
Well, no, you're doing it in the fall before you get sad in order to prep
you're like,
for the fall.
You're like
prep for the
gathering the resources.
Yes.
Start the socializing so it's already established by the time.
Yes. It's in motion.
Because guess what happens when you're sad?
you don't want to do any of that
You
shit.
don't want to do it all,
Right.
any of it. You're just like, no thanks.
But if it's already on the calendar.
Because bed.
Right. Regularly taking part in these activities ahead of time is much easier than trying to start from scratch once the winter blues have already set in.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
That's actually
it is
really
a
good
good
ideas.
idea.
I would say, can I even say summer? Start in summer.
Yeah, I'm going to start now.
Because you know what happened? Like, I'm just going on Ohio because I don't have SAD now that I live in California. But in Ohio, once you get to fall, it's already dark and
Yeah.
depressing. You got to
Right.
start in the summer.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Before the time changes.
Right.
And it starts getting dark at like 5.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
getting cold and the days
You
are
want to
getting...
go outside.
No, you're just like, it's cozy weather. I'm going to stay inside. It's nice to stay inside.
Yeah. Like,
So-
would you have to go to school in the dark?
Yes.
Did you walk to school?
When I was little, and then, as I got older, I would like take the bus or drive or whatever. But,
in the dark.
but you know what the most depressing thing is? And Garen can probably remember this. Having to get up and scrape the ice off of
yeah.
your windshield.
Right.
Like, and being like, I'm just going to let the car run to warm it up and go out there. But it's so hard to get out of bed when you have depression now.
Yes.
And a person who lives somewhere warm.
Right.
In the cold. And everything's so early, and it's like snow everywhere, and it's gray, sleety snow.
Yeah.
I don't even.
That's awful.
It's really depressing.
Then they made those cars where you can start them remotely
Yeah.
and heat up your...
Oh yeah. Now
car
they didn't
before-
have
yeah.
that.
No, I know.
Back in those days.
Yeah.
And if they did, I didn't have one of those cars. My cars were always junky.
No, we didn't have those either.
Try light from a box.
Box light.
Bright light therapy, exposure to artificial light to help keep one's circadian rhythm on track, is widely considered a first-line treatment option for SAD, according to a review published in 2017. One way to try bright light therapy is by using a light therapy box. Also known as phototherapy boxes, these devices give off light that mimics sunshine and can help in the management of SAD, according to the Mayo Clinic. The light from the therapy boxes is significantly brighter than that of regular light bulbs and is provided in different wavelengths. Typically, you'll sit in front of the light box for about 20 to 30 minutes a day. This is believed to result in a chemical change in your brain that boosts your mood and alleviates symptoms of SAD.
I love that. You know what? It's
crazy.
But you know what doesn't count as that? Your phone.
That's not a good light.
That's not a light box.
That'll only make you more depressed.
That actually can make you feel worse, guys.
Just had a thought.
Yes.
What if you stuck your head in this light box and out of the corner of your mouth sipped a Thunder Road or whatever it's called?
A Thunderbird.
A Thunderbird.
We don't know what it's called. We're calling it a Thunderbird.
Thunderbird.
Well,
I think that might be a
caffeine,
good way to
little boost,
little sugar,
not too much caffeine, but enough.
yes.
I thought you were gonna say something like, "What if you?" This is not a good idea. What if you stuck your head in the light box, but it was an oven? I was like,
That is another way of dealing with SAD.
that's
a
the
very
Sylvia
permanent
Plath way,
Yes,
and we
yes.
don't recommend it.
No.
We also don't recommend putting rocks in your pockets the Virginia Woolf way.
Right.
Those are other ways of dealing with SADS that we don't recommend.
Right.
Don't do those.
No.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
So this is more about general depression. Garen, were you sad in Michigan?
I think I was sad when I crawled out of the womb.
Okay, so this
name
is
a place he wasn't.
okay. When did you feel better when you got to California? Like emotionally and stuff, or did you not think the weather made a difference for you, like in your general state of mind?
I don't think the weather, because I kind of prefer gloomy weather. Like when it was raining, I've just always loved like thunderstorms, which I miss those a lot. So maybe that part kind of.
So you didn't have SAD. You just have.
No, I just had general.
He had lowercase
all-
sad, not
all
capital
seasonal.
sad.
I've definitely felt better with the weather being better, but I still, it didn't like cure depression because I
Right.
still have depression. My question is, when did you realize your depression or depression anxiety, whatever, you don't have to reveal your diagnosis on the air, but I think we've all kind of acknowledged we struggle with this kind of stuff, wasn't your actual personality? Like, I think before I knew I had depression, I thought this is just how I feel because this is my personality. And then I took medication. I didn't get on medication until I was in my 30s. And then I was like, oh, I can feel better.
Okay, that's a very interesting question because I do think of it as part of my personality because I only got on medication when it got really, really bad. I mean, I wasn't suicidal, but I've had moments in my life, and I could probably count them on two hands. It's not a lot, where I felt like helpless is the word I use. So I guess that's not my personality, but the general sort of depression, I think, is so ingrained in me, and medicine doesn't help that. Like I still, you know what I mean? So to me, it's not separate. It's not a diagnosis. It's not a separate thing.
Okay.
So I think I always was kind of depressed from an early age, but not all the time.
Right. No,
But
same.
yeah. So
I think my constitution is a bit morose.
Yes, I think that's
I don't
fair
have
to
like a
say
sunny
about myself.
disposition,
Right.
Even with medication, but like medication was such a it was a big life changer for me. And
That's great.
especially with anxiety.
Right.
That it was like, oh, I still have all of these anxious thoughts.
Yes.
However, they don't rule my behavior.
That's great.
Where it was like before, I would cancel almost every party I was invited to.
Wow.
Like I just wouldn't go. I would just be like, or I'd drive there and then just turn around and drive back.
Yeah, you've said that before.
So
yeah.
I was like, oh, I can, or I would come home from the party and be like, this was stupid what you said. Oh my God, this person nobody likes you. I beat myself up over like
Right.
everything I said at the party. Whereas after medication, I would come home and go, like, I might feel like, oh, I
Right.
said one thing that was stupid, but I go, oh, who cares? Nobody's paying attention to that.
Right,
Like,
right.
I feel like it shifted everything in a sense
That's great.
and lifted. It was like the depression became something I
Yeah.
felt on top of instead of below.
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, you're right. It wasn't your personality. It was something on top of your personality.
But I don't think it. Again, I feel similar to what you're saying in the sense that I can.
It's
still,
also part of your.
It feels part of a constitution in
Right,
a way.
yes.
That it's like there's no amount of medication that would
Right.
get rid of it, but like
Right.
it changes the dynamic.
Yes.
It pushes it away.
I think it's because we lived with it for so long and didn't know what it was, and I had the same thing. I didn't do anything about it until I was mid-30s.
Yeah.
So it's always been there, and it's still there. It's maybe not as powerful as it was. I mean, I remember realizing when I was walking somewhere, I was like, holy shit, I'm looking forward and not staring at the ground when I walk after I started taking the medicine.
And by
So
medicine, of course, you mean gummies.
yes.
Which
Yeah, bump
I
down
shouldn't
there.
even say that because it does help some people if taken a certain way. So,
Yeah.
and by that I mean up your ass. Okay.
This way.
Experts usually recommend using the light box within the first hour after you wake up in the morning. Although often safe and effective, light therapy boxes are not regulated by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Oh man, they can just have botulism.
They do have botulism. That's how it works. It distracts you from your depression. Be sure to talk with your doctor about whether a light box therapy is right for you. Use dawn simulators. Dawn simulators can help people with SAD. Some people. These devices are alarm clocks, but rather than waking you up abruptly with beeping or loud music, they produce light that gradually increases in intensity just like the sun. I don't know if that would wake me up.
I
would
thought about
worry-
trying that.
Oh, you've heard of this?
I have.
Okay. Different models of dawn simulators are available, but the best ones use full spectrum light, which is closest to natural sunlight. Researchers found that dawn simulators were as effective as light therapy for people with mild SAD, according to a study in 2015. Consider taking antidepressants. If light therapy or psychotherapy don't completely relieve your symptoms, prescription antidepressants may help you overcome seasonal depression. prioritize social activities. So social activities can be especially important if you have SAD. Studies have found a casual relationship between no commitment, just a casual relationship.
It's casual, babe. We're keeping it casual.
Yeah. Between social isolation and depression, said Burgess, that address the mental...
Burgess Meredith?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Well, he was so sad about those glasses. There's nothing you could do about that. That addressed the mental health impact of quarantining during the pandemic. The researchers reported that such periods of isolation can have a long-term psychological impact on people, including symptoms of depression and post-traumatic stress disorder. John Oliver, they just did a thing about solitary confinement 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
You might want to watch it.
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
I love his show.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm way behind on it.
Finding creative ways to stay connected with others is important. If wintertime darkness or weather has you staying indoors more than desired, there are ways other than in-person interactions to socialize. When the winter weather makes it super cold to be outside or unsafe to drive, we can FaceTime with friends and extended family.
Or listen to this show.
Yes, that's a great, and you can pretend like you're in the room with us.
We feel like you're part of our family.
That's right. Stick to a schedule. People who live with SAD often have trouble sleeping at night and getting up in the morning. Maintaining a regular schedule often improves sleep, which can help alleviate symptoms of seasonal depression. Get moving. As it does with other forms of depression, exercise can help alleviate SAD. Exercise can also help offset the weight gain that is common with SAD. Outdoor exercise is most helpful for relieving SAD symptoms due to the exposure to daylight. But if you can't exercise outside because it's cold or snowy, try using a treadmill, stationary bike, or elliptical machine set near the window. Let the sunshine in. If you have seasonal depression or wintertime SAD, you'll want to go outside as much as you can during the day to take advantage of what sunlight there is. On cold days, bundle up and take a stroll around the block. Also, when you're indoors, keep your blinds open to let in as much natural light as you can. And if you're working remotely, choose a workspace near a source of natural light if possible. Indoor lighting is much dimmer than natural light and can negatively affect SAD symptoms. Take a vacation or staycation. Taking winter vacation to warmer climates can help alleviate symptoms of SAD by helping you escape cold and overcast skies. Even a short break from your daily routine in a sunny place can be helpful with winter depression. If the budget is a challenge, consider planning a staycation instead, taking time off from work and finding ways to experience typical vacation activities while within your own home and community.
Maybe, just go to an indoor heated pool.
Yeah, open up your freezer and pretend that you're at a lodge.
That's an idea, too.
I don't know. I like your idea better. Consider avoiding alcohol. People may drink more for many different reasons during times of stress or sadness. When someone is feeling down, they are more likely to drink alcohol, but drinking causes further depression.
It's a depressant.
Hence the downward spiral.
Yes.
Keep a journal. Writing down your thoughts can have a positive effect on your mood. It can help you get some of your negative feelings out of your system. It works by helping you prioritize life's problems and identifying your depression triggers, as well as what helps lift your mood. Include your thoughts, feelings, and concerns when you journal. A good time to do so is at night, so that you can reflect on all that happened in the last 24 hours. Get enough vitamin D.
Oh, yeah.
Vitamin D deficiency may be a risk factor for depressive symptoms. Low levels of vitamin D caused by low dietary intake of this vitamin or not enough sunlight exposure have been found in people with SAD. Experts don't know for sure whether taking vitamin D supplements can relieve symptoms of SAD, but ensuring you get enough sunlight during the day and incorporating vitamin D-rich foods into your diet may help. Okay, I don't exactly have a story as such,
I'm leaving.
But
Goodbye.
I do have how this
is the last episode.
She's walking off. This is sort of how the whole SAD thing came to be coined. And all
Okay. I'll accept that.
Thank you. It's like a postscript.
Okay.
Or an addendum.
It's
or
a Post Malone.
It's a post. There's tattoos all over my paper. That's all I.
There's a duet with Ozzy
Who's Ozzy?
Osbourne.
Post Malone did a duet with Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, you guys. It's like.
Eerily accurate.
Really?
It's very auto-tuned.
It's actually not a bad song.
It's just It's such a weird pairing.
That's very strange. A 1981 Washington Post story began, "I should have been a bear." The subject, quoted under a pseudonym, was a young professional woman in New York suffering from depression that only emerged in the fall as the days got shorter, cooler, and gloomier. A researcher at the National Institute of Mental Health, Norman Rosenthal, was studying the impact of light on mental health and theorized that in rare cases the human brain may respond negatively to the diminishing exposure to sun. At the end of the Post article, the reporter gave Rosenthal an assist, asking readers to contact him if they too experienced seasonal mood changes. "I thought I was dealing with a very rare symptom," he said in an interview. "I thought we'd maybe get half a dozen and we could do something. We got 3,000 responses from all over the country." Rosenthal, who, with the help of his colleagues, was the first to identify and, in 1984, label seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, has spent the last 30 years of his career studying and refining the causes, symptoms, and cures for depression induced by lack of light. Today, though estimates vary, more than 10 million Americans are believed to struggle with SAD, and many more experience a milder version commonly referred to as the winter blues. SAD was added in 1987 to the American Psychiatric Association's official manual as one descriptor for major depression. It's so ubiquitous now that a restaurant in Manhattan recently began serving a cocktail infused with drops of vitamin D to combat the winter blues. Pizza Beach opened in the dead of winter earlier this year with the promise of transporting patrons out of the cold and onto the beach.
Pizza Beach?
Pizza Beach.
Pizza Beach.
Pizza Beach. "I can't stand it," owner Anthony Martignetti said of the winter blues. "I know that SAD is more real than people give credit. The drink, a mixture of rum, yes, orange and pineapple juice, yes, and nutmeg.
No, thank you.
That sounds really wrong.
That does not belong.
Spiked with vitamin D is his small part to try and help. Vitamin D supplements have helped Ben Kuberik, a 29-year-old living in Washington, D.C., cope with his cyclical depression, but they weren't enough. Kuberik spent most of his childhood in Puerto Rico, but moved to Atlanta when he was 15 years old. Georgian winters are fairly mild, but living at the higher altitude impacted him almost immediately. That first winter, he said, he felt like he was sitting in a cold, dark hole. Each year after, he'd feel himself begin to dig the hole in the early fall, and by December, he'd be immersed in it. He could see a spot of warmth above him, he said, but it was out of reach. It wasn't until college, when he learned about SAD in a psychology class, that he recognized his symptoms in the description. Come winter, he'd lose energy. It was hard for him to get out of bed. In group settings, he wouldn't speak up and later wonder why he'd been so quiet. From the middle of December through April, he'd go about his day like a zombie, slogging through, not initiating conversation. After another bleak winter this year, Kuberik bought himself a light box that mimics sunlight. He started sitting in front of it in September every morning before work. So far, the cold, dark hole has stayed closed. "I promised myself I'm not doing this again," he said. There has to be a better way to do winter." So apparently it can work.
Yeah.
So, think about it. If you're invest in a light box, if this sounds familiar to you,
It's worth trying.
I'm just going to walk around with a light box strapped to my head.
That won't be weird.
No, I'll be like, I'm in Mummenschanz. You guys don't know Mummenschanz.
No, I don't know that.
Mummenschanz, Garen's too young, but Mummenschanz was a 70s performance art group that would just ruin the Muppet Show and other things. No, I only... when I started watching the Muppet Show again with Oliver when he was little, there was a whole... Actually, he liked it because he was little, but it's like they have toilet paper on their head, and then they would, roll out the toilet paper, or they're like... It's like the Blue Man Group, but...
Doing different things.
Yeah. Check it out or don't.
Okay.
It's fine.
I love it. I mean, I'm going to link it, obviously, in our newsletter.
Of course you are.
But, so I will check it out.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Of course.
But imagine there were a children's show that existed today that would do cool stuff like that.
That's true. Yeah. No, it was cool. I love the Muppet Show.
Oh my God.
Actually, you'll have to link this too if I can find it. Oliver and Jimmy and I stumbled upon a Hanna-Barbera live action variety show.
Oh, wow.
From the 70s. It's called like the Hanna-Barbera Spectacular or something. We'll find it.
I do not remember this.
I have no recollection of it. And we were watching it. It was so weird. And I was like, I bet this lasted 5 episodes. It lasted literally 5 episodes. Connie Stevens was on the episode we were watching.
Oh, Connie.
And someone else famous. I can't remember right now. But anyway, it was hosted by two puppet women who were kind of funny. I mean, it was weird. It was just fucking weird. We'll link to it. Anyway, we'll be right back after this.
Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translates comprehensive, high-quality buyer data into real-time insights. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which leads to better outcomes, like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales. And we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/trial and get started.
Canva presents the killer of productivity. It was an ordinary workday until...
Oh no, this meeting. It could have been an email.
Run. Canva had a creative solve.
Forget email. I'll just put the info the team needs in a Canva doc, and I'll make it visual with images, charts, and graphics.
Bring productivity killers to justice with creativity. Love your work at canva.com.
Welcome back to How to Survive with Danielle and Christine. So, on the first half of the show,
yes,
we talked about how to survive seasonal depression.
Yes.
And now we're going to talk about how to survive
fishing in Alaska.
With our very special guest, Travis Bowe, who is a writer on Family Guy.
Yes.
And I don't want to brag. I'm going to call him a personal friend of mine.
That's very exciting.
Am I allowed to do that, Travis?
I love that. This is great. I love this.
Okay,
yes,
great.
absolutely.
I have to say something. I've been in his house.
Okay. Braggart.
He and his wife have a very cool house. If you've seen, I always call it the Better Things house. Oh. You know her house on Better Things? That's what their house is like. It's that cool.
Thank you.
Daniel's going to someday watch the show.
Someday I'm going to watch Better Things.
Remember how I recommended The Americans?
Are you the one who recommended The Americans to me?
Yeah, I kept saying, are you going to watch The Americans? Have you watched The Americans yet?
Wait, is that true?
Yeah.
Okay,
we
then
can go
I
back.
owe you my life because it's become
We can go back
my
to
favorite.
episodes and to many episodes where I've been like, The Americans,
I
The
believe
Americans.
you. I absolutely believe you.
So
I told you I have a terrible memory.
If I say watch Better Things.
I will watch Better Things.
I also vouch for Better Things.
You do. But is that just because you have a samey house?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right.
I mean, maybe.
So your story.
Yes. My story is about a fishing trip with my dad to Kodiak Island in Alaska.
Okay.
And it's about fishing, but it's also about sort of my first adult trip with my dad, like with a hotel stay.
Okay.
Involved sharing a hotel room.
How old were you?
It's about 10 years ago. So I would have been like mid-30s, lower 30s.
Really, really an adult. Okay.
I was an adult. I was full-on adult, like a married man.
Yeah.
Now, you are today wearing a hat with a fish on it. Do you often wear themed hats with whatever story you're telling?
This is my... no, but...
you might want to think about it.
That's
it's working.
Great. I was on my way out, and I grabbed this because it's my favorite current hat, and I asked my wife, Joanna, I said... Is this too much? And she said, no, I think it's good.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Shows you're excited about it. I'm excited. Yes, I'm happy to be here. But a little backstory. My dad is huge into fishing, loves fishing, always talked about it my whole life. Mm-hmm. Favorite thing, his dad, it was kind of their bond. And he would always just be sharing these stories about, I just miss going on fishing trips with my dad. And the weird thing is all the time he's telling this, he never really took me on a fishing trip. So just be like talking about like, it's such a big part of my life. And I'd be like, yeah, totally. Like I would like to do that.
Every son and father should have an experience like I had with my father.
Exactly.
Right.
I just miss my dad. I just miss going on these fishing trips. And so it's a big deal when I got the call. It was like, hey.
So you didn't go as a child with your dad fishing much?
No.
That's so weird.
Like there was like one or two times, honestly, that I can remember. But it was definitely a big part of his life.
Okay.
Part of his father-son bonding experience
right.
was through fishing. It just wasn't part of my life. But so anyways, he throws this, Alaska fishing trip out, and I was very excited to go. And so we go, and, I'm there, we're sharing a hotel room. It's the whole deal. Like it, puts you back into this place of being a kid and remembering these things. And I'll just sidebar where there are things, and you guys feel free. But the first thing that was hilarious was he was a Alaska Airlines gold member.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize how important this was to him at the time.
Oh.
But very quickly, most of the trip was about trying to be on the standby list and maybe getting first class.
Oh, okay.
Most of it was about this. So I was just constantly calling the airline, telling me where we are on the wait list. Mm-hmm. We did not get it.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
He was not happy about this. We get to this hotel. It's like a Best Western, something like this. But a weird kind of, Kodiak is a weird place. I felt like I might get stabbed a few times.
Oh, really?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
By a bear?
No, I mean, maybe, but by a person.
Oh, okay.
So a rough island.
That was my impression.
Okay.
It could have been wrong.
Okay.
But we get there, and there's an interesting sort of bar scene with live music going on.
All right.
So I was like, hey, we should roll down there. And he immediately just sits on the bed, shoes on the bedspread, pulls out a Ziploc bag with 4 airplane bottles of Crown Royal, and is
no.
we don't need to go to the bar.
Oh, no.
He's taking care of
Wait a
this.
second. Is this behavior that surprises you about your dad?
This is not behavior.
Okay. He's always packing shampoo size bottles of alcohol. Okay.
There's definitely cupboards at home with those things in abundance.
Okay.
Yeah. He knows what he's doing.
Okay.
So I talk him into going. We go down to the bar, listen, it's fun. Have a fun night.
Yeah.
We're leaving very early in the morning on this fishing boat.
Okay.
So we wake up. There's a full breakfast spread. I mean, they pull it out. I think there might have even been biscuits and gravy.
Wow.
Eggs, everything. You name it.
Yeah.
Breakfast options.
Okay.
They don't want their fishermen to go out hungry.
Exactly. So me, being sort of a novice fisherman, am thinking, you load up. This is fish day, right?
Yeah.
Fisherman breakfast. I'm just scoops, eggs. Maybe they're a little runny. Who cares? We're getting ready. We're
going onto the sea.
A day on the sea.
You got a carb load.
Exactly. Yeah. So I do this. We get on the boat. It's, a small-ish boat. I bet there's 10 people on board.
Okay. So
it's a chartered boat.
That's what I was going to ask.
That multiple people are going to go out and fish.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe 10. But we're going at least an hour into the ocean, maybe more.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And does your dad have these Alaska and air miles because he often goes to Alaska to fish? Is that why?
No. He, at the time, was he was running a hospital. That was what he did at the later half of his career. He was a lawyer that then transitioned into being a hospital administrator. But he'd fly all around the West Coast to kind of do this job. I guess there were a lot of conferences, maybe.
Okay. All right.
I don't remember this
Gotcha.
100%. But for whatever reason, he'd been racking up a lot of miles. So we're on the boat. Maybe now that I'm thinking, maybe there's 12 people. There's a few crew members, my dad and I, and then there's a group of 6 guys, middle-aged, hard-living guys from Minnesota. Mm-hmm. Grumpy fellas.
Oh, no.
They're not super happy. They're not there's not a lot of small talking going on.
Okay.
They also had a night at that bar.
They did. Yeah.
They also have tiny bottles of alcohol stored.
They have Miller Lights.
Oh, yes.
They brought Miller Lights, is what you're saying.
They either brought them or they were supplied by the boat.
Okay.
But
they're morning drinkers?
They are drinking Miller Lights starting, maybe it's 6 or 7 a.m.
No.
They're on the Miller Light train.
They're on the hair of the dog.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
So it is dark and cold, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Belly full of eggs. Let's get
Belly
some
full
Miller
of eggs,
Light.
Miller Light. So we start rolling out. It's not like a storm, but the seas aren't super steady.
They're choppy.
They're choppy seas.
Are you crying yet?
I'm not crying yet. Yeah. Most of this time, I'm trying to just act like Like, we're good.
This is
Like,
normal.
I'm basically like grandpa. Like, right? Like, this must be the same thing.
Yeah.
You write a cartoon.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm not like grandpa. But so we're 20 minutes, 30 minutes in. I'm kind of like, getting my bearings. Like, this is going to be good. Kind of looking out. The crew is starting to set up the lines a little bit here. We're still heading. Start getting some tummy gurgles. It's starting to happen. So, at this point, I'm just like, be fine. I'm going to go into the bathroom. I'm going to take care of this. So it's not the best bathroom conditions, as you could probably imagine.
Six guys drinking Miller Lite in the morning.
It's like a little, like, I think it's not like into a bucket, but it's not that. Like, there's like a toilet that might sit there. And
it's maybe not fixed in any way.
Maybe not fixed. Okay. Yeah. So I go in there, kind of, take care of some business. Get out. I'm starting to realize, like, my dad's chatting, telling me about stuff, and I'm having trouble following right now. Like, it's becoming worse and worse.
Like, you're nauseated.
Okay. Never having before experienced seasickness.
Okay.
I don't realize that we're in the beginnings of this.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to, like, pull it back together this whole time. Probably 45 minutes in, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Trouble. Like, I'm aware at this point that there's probably going to be barfs coming.
Yeah.
But they haven't started yet. And my dad's starting to kind of, I think, notice that I'm a little...
Green.
Yeah.
Yes. And then it starts. Right then. And I think the first time I go back to this bathroom.
Okay.
And I think it's a both end situation.
Oh, no.
And it's into the bucket with the top part, into the toilet with the bottom part.
Oh, man.
That's pretty elegant of you to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is starting to be like a triangle of sadness situation.
Yes. Yeah. We're not quite there yet, but yes, that's...
Okay.
Yeah. Get back out. I think my dad probably knows what's happening. The Minnesota guys aren't really paying any attention to me. Why would they?
They've got their own issues.
They got their own issues. So we're now like out where we're starting to cast line and fish. And so the guy's like, do you want me to set up your thing? And because they set it up on the side and it's kind of like, they'll set it up and then you can grab it when you're reeling the fish in. But it's kind of like on the railing.
Like hooked.
Type deal. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's just all gone from me now. Like I just start throwing up off the side. And then it's like, now I've done it in front of my dad, in front of the guys.
Yeah.
This is about a 6-hour boat trip.
Whoa.
Oh.
We're on hour 1, and it is now a full-on lying down, throwing up into the water, sort of on a stream.
Yeah.
Minnesota guys stepping over me, looking at me just with disgust. Like, who let this fucking kid on to this boat? And my dad is basically just not even paying any attention to me now, because it's like, we came on to fish.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, like, how you doing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, not bad. But this is 6 hours of this.
So it didn't get better, and there's nothing they can give you. They don't pack like any
There's
kind
nothing
of
they can give
seasickness
me.
Yeah,
medicine,
really,
knowing that like a lot of people get seasick.
I took Dramamine.
Okay.
Probably washed it down during this breakfast.
Okay.
Again, thinking I'm bulletproof.
Yeah.
No problem.
But the Dramamine was ineffective.
What I would find out later is that if you really want Dramamine to work, you take it the night before in the morning, so it's in the system.
Yes, I think I have heard that.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Plus, now you're throwing it up.
Yeah.
So
that's sort of that, like, end of this boat trip.
But do you get the feeling that he's like disappointed in you, as if you had some sort of control over, like you're not manly because you throw up? I mean, who has control over that?
I don't get that feeling.
Okay.
But, I mean, I don't not.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
Well, they're also just like, we spent a lot of money and we're going to keep fishing and you're just going to have to deal with this.
You're going to have to deal with this. It's a 2-day trip. Oh. So we come back and then we're going out the next day, right? So this whole time I'm also thinking, oh boy.
I got to do this again.
Like, we got tomorrow.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? And
yeah.
As you could probably tell from the Crown Royal bottles, the like Alaska, like it was a big deal for my dad to like throw down money on this trip. So in my head, I'm just like, I want to get invited back to something like this for sure.
Yeah.
Like I know it was a big deal for him to spend money on bringing me out here. So we get back to dock, and it's one of these things where it's like, I don't know if you guys have been like seasick, but you're better almost immediately when you get back to land. Like,
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, like
you were sick the whole time.
The whole time, like
that's crazy to me.
That's a nightmare.
It seems
crazy.
like you, after you threw up, you'd be better, but I guess not because you're still dealing with the thing that's making you sick.
You're still dealing with it. It definitely comes like you'll have your bad parts, and then towards the end, we moved our way back towards land and would like kind of like anchor down in places that were less choppy.
But you never got to fish.
Yeah. Did you ever get up and fish?
I think I did, just because like it was your pole is there, so it was just kind of like, you know, I guess I'll try this in between barfs.
Oh man!
But I can't. I honestly can't remember if I caught a fish.
Okay.
I don't remember a ton.
Yeah.
As soon as we get off, I'm starting to think like to plant the excuse of like, boy, that was tough. Like, yeah, I get, you know, I can just hang out tomorrow kind of thing. And my dad immediately goes, you'll be fine tomorrow.
What? Why would he think that?
I don't know.
Like I would think he'd be like, yeah, you shouldn't come and ruin it again.
I think he's probably, I know.
Right? Like,
because he's trying to make this bonding moment. He's going to make it, goddammit.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so. But so I'm, you know, looking on my, just how to not get seasick, how to. So that's when I find the Dramamine thing the night before.
Okay.
It's also when I find the, hey, maybe don't eat what you think is a fisherman's breakfast. Right. Maybe just eat like oatmeal or toast.
Right. Yeah. Maybe don't drink a lot.
Maybe don't drink a lot.
Or none.
Yeah.
Oh,
or none.
right. That part too, of course.
So I feel like I kind of did maybe 3 things wrong
the
first day.
Okay.
So I don't drink.
Okay.
I eat a oatmeal breakfast.
Okay.
I drink little coffee.
Okay. You take the Dramamine the night before. Okay.
And that morning.
Great.
And have a pleasant day.
Oh, nice.
Is it the same guys again or is it a different group?
Different group.
Okay.
Good. I did not want to see these guys again. And I did not see them there. I did see them at the like restaurant bar after the second day. Mm-hmm. And one of them was like, how'd you do today?
Yeah.
And I was like, good. Like, yeah. So that was the fishing.
Okay. So I have to ask, because you are wearing, is that a trout?
It's a trout.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know a little bit. On your cool hat, do you like to fish now because of that experience, or was that like the last time you went fishing?
I do. I believe it or not. So I had a great time the next day.
Okay.
And I would go again, but that is in the back of my mind. Whenever we're close, or like I'm in a place where it's like, oh, you could do it. Like I'm like,
maybe you'll get sick.
Maybe,
yeah,
maybe I'll do it. But I do feel like I have the knowledge now to put myself in a good position.
That's good.
I will say, as a postscript, so all the fish gets shipped to my dad, and he says, I'll bring it to you next time I see you. Mm-hmm. At the time, he's living in, where was he? Porter Ranch, maybe?
Okay, not far.
Yeah, not far. He's gone for a couple weeks. There's a power outage.
Oh, no.
All the fish in the freezer goes bad. Rotten. So the whole thing, we get no fish from.
The moral of the story is you just got to have vomit and diarrhea at the same time coming out.
And then rotten fish.
But to bond, you got to bond with your dad.
I got to bond with my dad. It ended up being a very fun trip. Good. Oh, and you guys might be interested to know, on the way back, he gets first class.
Yes.
But it's this weird, like, you got to do this tiny plane from Kodiak to Anchorage.
Okay.
So that's just like a 12-seater or whatever. So we get there, get first class. It's like 11 p.m. My dad's a very early to bed kind of guy. But because he gets this, he drinks like 3 glasses of Merlot between like 11 and like 2 a.m. We land in Los Angeles at like 4:45 or something like this. And he goes, man, I have a pounding headache right now. And I go, it could be because you drank 3 glasses of Merlot at like midnight. And he immediately goes, no, it's not that.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Hilarious.
Dads.
Oh my God.
Dads.
That is really funny.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going to miss out on this opportunity to drink Merlot in first class.
Exactly.
I don't care how tired I am.
Yeah, it does not matter.
That's so funny.
That is such a dad behavior. I love it.
Yeah, there's no point in being in first class if you're going to sleep, I guess.
What's the point?
So, yeah, you got to
get free Merlot.
Oh, my God. That's
Grab that.
so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, thank you so much.
That was a fun story.
That was a great story.
Thank you guys. Yeah.
And glad you got your sea legs eventually.
Yes.
Glad you're
You
back.
know the terms.
And you gave some good tips for
That's
people.
all I know.
Now we know.
Yeah.
Now we
Dramamine
know.
at night.
Dramamine at night.
Dramamine at night is huge.
Not a fisherman's breakfast.
Go light on the breakfast.
Yeah, but was it a free breakfast? Because I'm kind of.
It was a free breakfast.
Yeah, see, I'm with you. I would have been
I
like,
know.
oh, look at all this spread.
Don't drink 3 glasses of Merlot in first class.
No, all these things.
Do not do that.
Do not do any of these things. Yeah.
And don't booze it up the night before.
Don't do that.
And you can survive an Alaskan fishing adventure with your dad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good.
And now I have fond memories.
Oh,
I love
sweet.
that.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
We will be right back with what did we learn today?
Want to teach your kids financial literacy, but not sure where to start? Greenlight can help. With Greenlight, parents can keep an eye on kids' spending and saving, while kids and teens use a card of their own to build money confidence. As a parent, you can send instant money transfers, set up chores, automate allowance, and more. It's a convenient way to run your household, customized to your family's needs, and the easy way to raise financially smart kids. Get started with Greenlight today and get your first month free at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This podcast is brought to you by eHarmony, the dating app to find someone you can be yourself with. Why doesn't eHarmony allow copy and paste in first messages? Because you are unique, and your conversations should reflect that. eHarmony wants you to find someone who will get you. How are you going to know who gets you if people send you the same generic conversation starters they message everyone else? Conversations that actually help you get to know each other. Imagine that. Get who gets you on eHarmony. Sign up today.
Chris.
Danielle.
Are you ready to learn what we learned today?
Yes.
Protect your home from rampaging machine guns with auto shades. Cats, cats, cats. Everywhere there's cats. Oh, God, they're entering my nightmares.
That should be LA's tagline.
No kidding. Ugh. Okay. This is blowing my mind. Apparently, Shiv is the youngest Roy sibling. You see, Shiv, Sarah Snook, is apparently the youngest child according to official lore, estimated to be in her early 30s, with Roman pegged around 35.
No, Roman's the youngest. They've all established that he's the youngest.
I thought they've always established that he's the youngest.
I would have said the exact same thing.
But what lore is this?
Maybe it's somebody's fan fiction. I don't know.
I'm not saying he looks younger. I'm just saying they've always, said he's the little brother, like the youngest, the baby. They've always, called him the baby.
Well, he's kind of a baby.
He is kind of a baby.
That's bizarre. Okay. The stats about people suffering from all seasonal depression are incalculable. The Netflix series Beef is about a road rage incident between 2 strangers, a failing contractor and an unfulfilled entrepreneur, sparks a feud that brings out their darkest impulses. Oh, okay. I didn't know that's what it was about. Hulu's Tiny Beautiful Thing centers on Claire, Catherine Hahn, a writer who reluctantly becomes a popular advice columnist during a period of turmoil in her life.
Oh, I think this must be based on Dear Sugar. Cheryl Strayed's book.
Oh, so you knew she was in a show based on this book, but you didn't know that they had changed the
What's her name?
title?
Cheryl Strayed?
I think it is that.
Okay.
I think it is that.
We were talking about the same thing. I just didn't know it was called this. Got
That's
it.
crazy.
Okay.
Journaling is good for SAD. Alcohol isn't. I'm sorry to dull your main character moment, but maybe skip the wine when you're journaling. There are at least 2 types of vitamin D that can help with SAD. Wink, wink. Are you saying pot is a type of vitamin D?
No.
Oh, dick.
Is that a nickname for the big D?
I don't know. It popped
You should
in my
have
head.
some
I thought it
vitamin
was-
D.
Okay.
I think I've heard that before.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
pretty good.
okay.
I like that, Garen. Momenchance, a Swiss mask theater troupe. Yep, that was the 70s.
Yes,
That was the 70s.
Oh, man.
Who perform in a surreal mask and prop-oriented style have been ruining variety shows since 1972.
Oh, and mimes.
Yeah,
Remember?
they were part of the Shields and Urinell sort of group of this passes for
mimes.
entertainment in the 70s.
I want to say thank you for listening to the show.
Okay.
We're not going to, what we're not going to do today is we're not going to do patron shout outs because I don't have my computer with me. Not because
Okay.
we don't want to.
That's okay.
But I have it organized in my computer and I didn't bring my laptop today.
But no, you're thanked in general.
We will
All of you are thanked.
Yeah, we thank not just our patrons, we thank our regular listeners.
Yeah.
You're not regular, you're extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
You know what I want you to do today? I want you to walk with your head held high. Blah, blah, blah. I want you to walk with your head held high.
Yeah?
And I want you to do something special for yourself today.
Oh.
You know what? Buy that candle.
Put your head in the light box.
Get that Dr. Pepper with the Coke.
Fascinating.
When you go and you're like, you know what? I'm going to get diet. No. Get regular. Treat yourself. You don't have to get diet every time, guys.
Not every time, no. Mix it up.
Mix it up. Get the one you really want. Buy the ice cream you like. Don't buy the one that's on sale.
Right.
Just get the thing.
Full fat.
Live your life. Live your one precious life extraordinarily. That's my advice.
Wow, I love it. And what's the other thing we should do?
You know what? Save for retirement.
Okay, I'm going to try it again. What's the other thing we should do?
Oh, remain calm.
Almost worked. Oh, that was funny.